How Long Gone? Special Boxing Day reader mailbag edition. I'm still in Toronto. The dream just won't die. I'm roaming the streets of Yorkville. You can catch me at the Aritzia coffee shop. It's the only decent bean on Bloor Street. Jason, what's up with you?
So the only good coffee shop in Canada is called Aritzia, like the clothing store?
No, it's not the only good. No, there's great coffee in Toronto, but in this neighborhood, it is diabolically bad. And it's the nicest. It's like the rich neighborhood, so it's all like burned, bad Italian coffee.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I guess I was more so focusing on it being called Aritzia, popular clothing store.
It is. No, it's inside of an Aritzia. It's called AOK Cafe. It's their coffee shop. Yeah.
It's gotten even better.
It's good. There's one in New York in the store that's in the old Dean DeLuca, and apparently from what I've heard is if they see a man, it's free. Like if you're just there with your chick and you need a cappuccino, they just provide for you. So she'll cop the super puff in 2 sizes. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's actually pretty nice because normally they have like the husband chair at these clothing stores, but offering us a nice treat. I guess I've had that before, where if you go to a nice enough store, they'll ask if you want, an espresso.
Well, that's why it's cool. Is that Aritzia is like not expensive, but the experience is good, which is
And I would say the experience is even better because you can probably get whatever you want versus when I'm in Italy at the Bottega Veneta store, and they'll bring me a plain Nespresso that somebody made.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. This is like a proper coffee shop with pastries and everything. Yeah, it's good.
Okay, when are you coming to LA for NYE, bro?
Sunday. So I'm going back to New York and then have a day to repack and get my mind right, and then come to LA and just do the same shit I've been doing for the last week, but just in a better climate.
Okay. Sunday's not great for me. Is that flex? Is there any? No. Well, because I want to make sure that your car is washed and ready for you. I'm assuming you are going to grab your car or no?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab my car. Yeah, I'll probably come. Actually, I was gonna talk. We'll talk about this off mic, but I was saying we get there. We land at like 10:30. I always come straight to you, so maybe we record.
Oh, that's nice.
IRL.
That's pretty good idea.
I'm full of good ideas, and then we can head out.
And then, it would be my honor to make sure that your car is hand washed by them jeans because for Christmas this year, Santa brought me pressure washer.
Okay, I've been getting. I saw on Carolyn's story that you got a pressure washer, and it's funny because I've been getting served separately those videos where the guys go to people's houses that are all fucked up and they clean them with the pressure washer for free to create content. Right. Are you familiar with this?
I've seen like lawn mowing.
It's the same idea.
Similar vibe, yeah.
They go up to like an old woman's house and they're like, I want to do this for you. And they're like, well, let me pay you. And they're like, no, I do it for the views. Mm-hmm. This is my job, And it is pretty cool to watch.
Walmart's going to pay for this one, baby.
Exactly. So what are you planning to pressure wash? Just like whatever, anything, everything?
Yeah, I mean, you can use it to wash the car, which is good and fun and easy to blast.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
And spray it
off.
It
was too strong. Okay.
There's different settings, and you can if you get really close, then the pressure increases. Okay. Scoop back, it's a little more chill, but it has like a sudsy soap sprayer kind of canister hopper thing. So, you can really get in there. I think I don't know what, but and I received a Dyson Humdinger, which is their portable vacuum cleaner. So I've, for some reason this year, everyone has sort of transformed me into a cleaning person.
Working class TJ is back. So you're basically starting a mobile car washing business is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I mean, just, with the gig economy in flux, it's just a nice little thing to fall back on in case the pod cart runs out of juice. You know what I mean?
Of course. I think that's nice to have those kind of concrete skills that people really love to pay their hard-earned money for.
I'm just wondering who thought I was a cleaning person. You know what I mean? Who thought of all the people, I don't leave the cleanest life.
I think that, yeah. I think that...
Don't laugh and say yeah like that.
I will say that getting a pressure washer as a Christmas gift from your wife does feel old.
Yeah.
Like it feels very like we ran out of ideas for pop, so we got him a pressure washer. But I also think it's a second agenda because it's obviously will help her because you'll clean. You know what I mean? It's a gift for her more than for you. Is what I'm trying to say.
For everyone around me, yeah. But it's cool. But the interesting part is like last year, I got her dad a gun that shoots salt at bugs because that's ran out of stuff.
Yeah,
and then less than 1 year later, the tide has been turned, and I am now the recipient of.
Did they bless you with the humdinger?
Of an equal gift. Yeah, they blessed me with the humdinger, and the humdinger is great.
The humdinger
has nice action on it.
Yeah, no, it sounds sick. No, those Dyson products have a great feel to them. I would say that they really mastered that. It's like closing the door of a Porsche. You know what I mean?
They're well engineered.
Well engineered. Those freaks over there at Dyson. Yeah, I received some gifts as well. But nothing of that magnitude. That is, I mean, that's like different. But I told you
nothing of that magnitude.
I FaceTimed with my sister yesterday to see my nieces on Christmas, and they had received the gift they asked for was called Fresh Market, and it's a full supermarket checkout, like moving belt with a credit card machine that works. And because they said they wanted to play Publix.
Right. We want to play Publix.
And I was just that feels, it's amazing what children are interested in when it's like you want the worst job in history, but they love it as a child. But I just didn't know that. I forget that toys have gotten that advanced.
Yeah,
it's
I think everyone, like Dano, I think he had a similar setup but I think that's been going on forever where like they want to be like adults. But like
Definitely.
You said, the worst, like either the cashier at a Publix or a garbage man. No shade to either profession, but we're not shooting for the stars.
We're not shooting for the stars. Yeah, we didn't get you. Yeah, we didn't get you the little astronomer set or anything.
And when quite literally, and when you said it's a working credit card machine.
I mean, it like lights up. I'm saying you can't swipe your Chase card, but it'll.
Okay, I was just wondering, do I pay the fee or does she pay the fee? I mean, obviously they're not old enough, so does your sister pay?
Her handwriting isn't great, but it did say MX extra charge. I saw posted next to the posting. They're hitting you with the 4% on that.
I'll do the first one's fine because it's Christmas, but don't make a habit of it in 2025. Okay, guys.
Yeah, don't come back. We don't do house accounts here.
Yeah, tall Jason doesn't play that. Tall Jason doesn't play that.
We need a cold hard cash.
A thing that I've noticed this particular year, I think I talked about it on the last episode, about like of all the years that Christmas has happened this year, everyone decided to put lights on their car across the country.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
a new trend that I discovered just in the last 2 days, Christmas Eve and Christmas, we had never really gone out to dinner on either day. It's just like a family holiday. You have dinner with your friends or family.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of going out unless we're hitting the Chinese restaurant because we're Jewish kind of vibe,
mm-hmm.
or we're not celebrating Christmas for whatever it is. But this year we went to Jar on Christmas Eve and then Park's
mm-hmm. Korean
barbecue on Christmas night last night, and I think there's a trend, a tide has turned, and now people, I think your message of let's destroy Christmas kind of thing, I think people are caring less about Christmas. I think the weight that we have put into this Hallmark holiday, it's losing steam, and I think that people really don't give a fuck. And I think, like you said, let's work through it. I think a lot of people want to work on Christmas. They don't care about it. They see it as a potential opportunity to make more money than normal if they stay open. There's tons of restaurants open, both Christmas Eve and Christmas, slammed. I was driving around in Koreatown last night. There's like shitty Thai restaurants that like random people don't even go to with like 200 person lines.
People are desperate.
Insane. I went to BCD Tofu House. 300 people spilling into the streets, waiting for a table. Families,
really?
The whole thing.
I mean, I haven't eaten out on Christmas Eve but after my Thanksgiving experience at Sunset Tower, I couldn't recommend holiday meals out more.
Right?
There's no reason. Like, unless you got like a bunch of little kids or whatever. I don't understand why not.
Also, I noticed on Instagram this morning, Superiority Burger in your neighborhood in New York Christmas
Sick.
morning brunch.
So sick.
They posted a video of it. Every table full.
Definitely.
Buzzing, happy, great
Well,
vibe. That works more in New York.
People that
of course.
go to Superiority Burger also don't have families because they've kind of chosen a different life. But I see what you mean. That is a good offer.
Well, they need a place to go for Christmas because their family drowned in a well or whatever. Got hit by a train.
After the 5th hand tattoo, their family said, "Don't come around here anymore." Is what happened.
Don't come around here no more.
You're playing that crust punk at Christmas. That's not going to work for us. I think this is good for everybody. This is good. This is the way the world should work.
But is it though? I mean, I guess I'm saying
because
at some point in the calendar year we need to have a moment to release the steam.
But here's the thing
and
about
it's sort of the government mandated holiday break, and maybe that is starting to shift.
Well, here's the thing about letting out the steam is that nobody, unless you are like a fucking commercial real estate developer and you go to St. Bart's for 2 weeks, no one is really unplugging anyway. We're pretending to unplug. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody's pretending to unplug. Maybe you don't get an email on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, but after that, it's on, kind of.
Well, you're talking about the creative class. I'm talking about teachers.
I mean, maybe not a teacher, but they get the time off no matter what. They don't have to go to work. It's different. But I just mean everyone we know is still working anyway. So it's a fake.
Mm-hmm.
It's fake. Like no one's like turning their phone off, shuts laptop for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't actually happen. So why pretend that that's what's going on, you know?
Well, are we pretending, or I guess maybe there's like a reckoning or a realization that whatever the alternative to work is not glaringly better than work or more enjoyable than there's so many people listening to this right now who are like, I'm gonna listen to How Long Gone, go on my gay cousin walk, and then catch up on some emails and blah blah blah, because that's better than
what am I gonna do?
Sitting on the couch pretending like I'm not looking at my phone while my family quietly watches
fucking Home Alone 2,
medical insurance commercials in between.
Law and Order Toronto. It's getting dark. I think that
it's dark.
I think that I agree. Well, I think that's part of the reason Netflix played so much for those NFL rights.
Yeah,
because they know that that's something that can keep families together. That feels like a religious psyop to have football on Christmas Day.
I mean, I think it's genius.
Oh, it's genius, but it really feels like it's trying to hold the like American family together by putting something everybody, because no one cares about the NBA anymore because all they do is shoot 3-pointers.
Yeah,
so
seriously,
right. the NFL is now, and I mean, having Beyonce, who Kendrick Lamar has to follow Beyonce now, which is kind of, they really fucked him on that, I think.
Right.
A little bit.
Yeah, I guess so. Because by the time the Super Bowl comes around in a couple months, those dot bops will have a little steam let out of them, right?
No one's listening to that shit. No one's listened to that record since the day it came out. But Beyonce
not true, but it was having a real moment in October, not in February.
Yeah. I mean, Beyonce was good. I mean, I don't know any of the songs she played except the covers of the Beatles and Dolly Parton, but it was good. I mean, it looked expensive as fuck. Like, it's crazy. And Netflix is also streaming it like a special. Like, you can go stream it on Netflix, like just the halftime.
Oh, that's really smart.
Very smart. That's really smart. Yeah, so they got their money's worth.
Yeah, I think they spent $150 for both games. It's not bad. I don't know what they had to pay Beyonce. But I was really sad because the game was on Christmas, but I didn't watch any of it. And much like the Super Bowl or Mike Tyson boxing, Jake Paul, or any of these special cool events, for the stand-up comedy where it's live, I can watch it whenever. I don't care. And it's still fine. But for a football game that everyone else knows who won.
Watching a football, no, that's crazy.
I can't watch any sporting event after the fact. I just don't care about it that much. Especially a game like football where it's just like,
you have to really care. Or you have to be a degenerate gambler. Which, those
right.
And those two things.
I could watch a tennis match after the fact because it's just like, it's fun to study and watch.
Yeah, I'm
sweet science.
I'm kind of with you. Football is just something that's on in the background my entire life because of my dad. So I know a lot about it without ever having to really pay attention.
You do.
But I still say that I think if we introduced an NFL sub-league where it was passing only, no running, it would be much more entertaining to watch because the run plays slow everything down between the TV commercial, the TV breaks, and the running. If we just had kickoff returns and fucking Hail Marys, now that's something everybody could watch.
I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
From your mouth to God's ears, Chris, let's form some sort of pickleball top golf version of football.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it exists somewhere in Florida. Okay, so for today's episode, we've decided to open up the floor and do kind of a listener mailbag style episode. So we have questions that were submitted via the How Long Goners Instagram account. Thank you for the admin for compiling these together into one easy document.
Yeah, the How Long Goners Instagram account. Everyone, make sure you go thank them for maintaining our Instagram presence. And I guess I'll just run through these.
Let's just run through them. Yeah, let's just. I mean,
there's a lot of them. Most of them are bad.
That's true.
Okay. I'm not going to read the first one because it's there's a lot of questions that we're never going to answer. So just
number one. Who is the op of your? I'm not going to say who the op is. Obviously, it's because it's a person that definitely doesn't think about me at all. But I hold grudges, so it doesn't. I'm not going to bring that. It's embarrassing to me.
It's the same. It happens to me once a week.
Yeah,
where I will say something or somebody will say something on the podcast and it will have to be bleeped out for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Somebody said something that they shouldn't have said.
It's just part of podcasting. It
could be offensive. It could just be a normal thing. And then the first thing, I wake up that morning and they're like, whose name did you bleep out?
Yeah.
I'm like, bitch.
That's
you're
the whole
not
point.
My wife or my best friend. I'm not just going to tell a random person when I bleeped it for a fucking reason.
Yeah, the whole point of bleeping is so your ass doesn't know what we were talking about. That's the whole point.
It's just like, hey Luigi, you kill that guy?
Yeah, that's literally it's the same.
No,
it's equal. Nah. All right. The next one's for me as well, Jason. If you'd like to pose it,
Chris, would you rather go to Burning Man for a week or watch Jason's dogs for a week? Couple stipulations: you have to pick up the poo yourself. You cannot hire someone to do it, and also we're gonna need a walk in the morning. Breakfast and dinner.
This is tough. This is tough because if I did drugs, I would just go to Burning Man, obviously. But the thought of going to Burning Man for a week sober feels worse to me than because your dogs are small. They're manageable size. Like if you had two giant fucking dogs, I would go to Burning Man sober.
I don't have two Roddies that are gonna get off the leash and
but these two little
baby.
These two little guys, Margot and Bean, I could probably handle. And I feel like it would be good for me to learn to deal with people approaching. Like, are those dogs cute enough for people to approach?
Hell yeah. Constantly. Okay. Crossing guards, children.
Because I hate that kind of shit. Like, when I see people doing that, I'm like, you're such a loser. You're commenting on someone else's dog. Like, of course they know the dog is cute. Of course you can't pet it. You know what I mean? Get the fuck out of here. Like, the dog owner knows the dog is cute. That's why they have the fucking dog. I don't need to hear from a stranger. Anyway, I would take the dogs.
I love your shoes. Can I wear them?
Yeah, like what is the point?
No, bitch.
I love Margot and Bean, and I would happily take care of them for a week and show them all the love they deserve if the only other option was going to Burning Man sober.
I agree. I would do the exact same, and also, I would be at Burning Man while you would be watching the dogs. I would be, going days without showering. Even if you are in Diplo's polycule, you're still living third world conditions.
Yeah, no, even if
you took a PJ there.
Even if Chris Rock lets me borrow his muddy Montclair when the sun goes down, there's still no running water. I mean, it
sounds like an old jazz musician. Muddy Montclair. He's a puffer shell.
All right.
You're going to be fine.
Yeah, it'd be fine. And I would do that for you because you're my friend also. It's not, All right. Who has point blank said no to being on the pod? I mean, I'm sure several people have said point blank no, but I can't really think of anyone in particular.
I don't think anyone has ever straight up point blank said no. I mean, there's always sort of the PR speak. I mean, the meanest thing somebody could say is like, "Oh, we checked out the podcast. It's not really their vibe. kind of thing. Like that's as mean as you're gonna hear.
Yeah,
and it's always just gonna be like, oh,
that's fine.
Like we're just
that's
kind
fine.
of not doing press. Everyone always makes up like an excuse that you can't really argue.
There's someone that I was told several people in her life told her not to do it because we would be too mean, which is not true because it's Kaya Gerber. I would obviously not be mean to Kaya Gerber. We're not mean to any guest. We're not. We're just not. Like, it's just not.
No, we would not. Of course, we would not be mean to Kaya Gerber. Kaya, if you're listening, come on the pod.
Yeah, like she's a good. She's also a Canadian sympathizer. She's a model. She has a book club. There's so much to talk about. There's no reason to be mean to Kaya Gerber. Like, I would never, out of respect for her and her looks, I would never be mean to her.
Yeah, just ask Kazi. Use her as a Kaz study.
Oh, Kaz study.
That is good. Okay, you can read number 4 since it's to me, I guess.
Jason, when can we expect another Substack article, or will you be giving refunds for the last 6 months? Hold on, it smells like broken here.
Okay, yeah, I guess there's a couple of people who have asked me about the Substack. For just to clear the record, the Substack that I do, it is not paywalled. There is no content that is only available for paying subscribers. So people,
okay.
The floodgates are open. You can give me money if you want. You can not give me money if you don't want. It's just like, hey, I'm going to write whenever I want to write. And if you want to subscribe and enjoy it, you can. If you want to pay me for the myriad hours of content I've provided to you for free over the years, you can. And if you...
So hold on. I want to be clear. I want to be clear. These people are complaining because you haven't done something in a while that they are paying for, but they're paying for it voluntarily, basically.
Yeah, they're being nice. I mean, and I know that these questions aren't like actual anger at me. It's more of just like they miss me doing that. I have been...
Well, I mean...
I have been writing a lot. I haven't been doing it on Substack. I've been trying to figure out what my angle with Substack is going to be and what type of content it's going to look like. And,
it takes time.
It's hard. It's hard. And, I spend a lot of time on this podcast and all the other things that we do in life. So it's one of those things that I did not end up having enough time to contribute to every week, and I am very sorry. And if you are still subscribing, please use Rocket Money promo code How Long Gone at checkout.
If you need the $30 back, Jason will Venmo you. Just whatever. It's no sweat, really. It's no sweat.
Yeah, if you are really having a tough time financially and you have been giving me money, smash that unsubscribe button and I'll send you a fucking hat.
I'll send you a hat. We'll trade you a hat. All right, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Chris, did you ever sleep in the bubble with Cartel? You've talked about it before, Cartel, Band in a Bubble, the MTV show. You were managing them at the time. Did you ever go in that bubble and sleep?
I didn't sleep in the bubble. I went to the bubble to kick tires and check it out a few times because why would I sleep in this kind of disgusting structure on the water? Like I wasn't there wasn't room. There's nowhere off camera to sleep. There was no option for that.
Got it.
But I think I've said this before. There was a hallway where you couldn't see. Like there were no cameras, so that's where the drugs went down. So you could hit the bong in the corner, and then
every show's got the hallway.
Every show's got the hallway. Every reality show definitely has the hallway.
I miss Andy Cohen's hallway. He uses it for other stuff.
Yeah,
I guess it kind of looks like it's in the shape of a bong, roughly.
That's depending on how much you smoking. Yeah, absolutely.
How did Chris go from being a pop punk band manager to a New York cool guy? It seems like there are a couple chapters missing.
I don't really. What kind of question is this? Like I managed a band. I moved to New York and I started doing other stuff, and that's it. Sorry.
Yeah, I would say that the pipeline of music industry management to creative agency marketing is a very clear straight road. It's not like you were a lumberjack one day and now you're an F1 driver. It's a pretty
yeah. I mean, I think that it's also it's not I wish I would have. I mean, part of me always wishes I would have gone and got a job at like William Morris or CAA and just tried that for a couple years to see if I was built for that.
To see if you were a powerhouse.
And then I'd be at the fucking corner table with Brad Pitt and Brian Lord, you know. But unfortunately, this is where we're at. I'm podcasting with you, but yeah, I mean, I don't think. I think it is a very.
You're having Hanukkah at Ari's house, but instead.
But also, people don't understand, or maybe they do, but like pop punk and I know this is meant to be disparaging in this question. That was like popular music at the time. That was like arguably the biggest genre of music for a couple years. You know what I mean? With like Fall Out Boy, Panic! At the Disco, it was really a big thing.
Of course.
Like it wasn't some like niche, small kind of. That's the only reason we got a record deal. It's because we were you're coasting. That's how it all works. That's how grunge works. That's how alternative. You know, all that stuff works. That way.
You happen to be making a product that there was a great demand for versus the opposite, reverse engineering.
Okay, this is great too. The next question also shades me. Why do they? I like they. It's that's us. Why do you never so much as mention Nikki Jaggerman? Some of us remember when Chris was just a recurring guest on Tall Tales. All right, you're old. So what?
Then we're old too. Yeah, I guess that one. You know, Nikki and I still we ran into each other at. Where was it? Oh, it was at Earning Man at Friends with Benefits up in Idlewild.
Oh, really? I didn't.
Yeah, she moved up to Idlewild, which are the mountains a few hours away from LA. So we don't really hang out, but you know, we're cool, I guess. But there was some stuff that happened with mutual friends and relationships and things that we will not talk about, but all that is to say, we are cool, and we hung out a few months ago in Idlewild. But yeah, we never see each other or hang out because
also like
we don't live in the same places anymore.
How old are you? This is what happens. Like you know what I mean? Like life happens, and then you don't talk to somebody anymore, even if you work together. You know, it's just that kind of happens as you get older.
Yeah.
Fuck, marry, kill. Maddie Healy, BJ Novak, John Mayer. This is tough. This is really tough. Some of our favorite guys on the program. I mean, for me, I'm probably going to.
This one's easy for me.
Okay, go ahead. You start because I'm torn.
Fuck Maddie Healy, marry John Mayer, kill BJ Novak.
Okay, my problem is I want to do all three with John Mayer, but I think I would do the same as you. I think Maddie Healy, he's a freak. You know he's a freak.
Yeah. Maddie doesn't stop sucking until the job is done.
That's exactly. You can just look at his eyes and tell. BJ, I think BJ could somehow rise from the ashes. Like I think BJ, I think that if I had to kill BJ, he would return in another form and win more Emmys and be more successful. I truly think that. And John Mayer, I'm gonna marry John Mayer. I want to hear fucking Slow Dancing in a Burning Room on acoustic guitar every morning when I wake up. That's a dream.
Awoken to that? Yeah. And I also sort of suggested to kill BJ because I know he's the only one of the three who is listening to this right now. And I just thought he would get a kick out of that. Love you, BJ. Of course, I don't want to kill you at all. But I also don't want to fuck you.
You got to be careful because BJ is probably a member of one of those Harvard secret societies. So even the joke could get us kind of off.
Okay, with the
lampooned, if you will.
the skull and bones will lampoon me.
Yeah, skull. I think Skull and Bones is Yale, but it's the same kind of shit. It's the same kind of shit.
Whatever their version is.
Can you tell us any behind-the-scenes reasons why the How Long Gone radio show on Spotify didn't go any longer? It was so good. Also, will the Mad Decent Twitch stream archives ever see the live day? I mean, the How Long Gone radio, we love doing it too. It was just we were being paid to do that because Spotify was launching a new program, and once they stopped paying us, it was kind of like, do we really need to do 4 podcasts a week?
Yeah.
You know?
We had a lot of fun doing it, and it was fun. It was cool, and they were trying to showcase that feature where podcasts could also include music.
Music plus talk.
Yeah, music plus talk, and I guess it just ended up being a feature that Spotify didn't really put that much marketing dollar behind anymore when it was sort of replaced by video as their top priority. So we would love to do it. It was a cool, fun concept. It was easy.
I want to do it. I've told you, I want to do it on Sirius XM. That's what I want to do it on like satellite radio. I think that'd be the best place for it.
This time of year, we're putting things out into the universe. We're asking we're telling what's going to happen. So yeah.
Well, when I went for a meeting at Sirius because one of my old friends works there, and she was telling me that John Mayer's station, which is really good, he's like heavily involved in, comes to the studio on like Thanksgiving Day to like do it live. And I just think that sounds cool. I mean, obviously we have a lot more time than he does. But
maybe I don't want to marry him.
He's never.
I don't think he's going to have enough time for me. Oh, you're going to go serious on Thanksgiving. Wow.
The Mad Decent Twitch stream archives, those don't need to come back. that was a special time. And I had a blast doing it. I love everyone that helped us with that. But if you weren't there, that's kind of it on that.
Yeah.
That's kind of it on that. We can't wait. There's that doesn't need to exist in perpetuity.
That in that specific particular version, all that is to say, something similar to that in a better produced form could see the light of day in 2025.
Not out of the question. Yeah,
it was exactly. It was a good stepping stone.
It was fun. It was really fun. It was also like that time period where everything was unknown. So it felt like, hey, fuck it, we can go on.
Even Chris was wearing a mask. This is how dire these straits were.
That killed me. All right, tell us more about what happened with Duff McKagan. All right, it's very simple. Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses was pitched to be on How Long Gone. Obviously, we said yes because Jason's like a lifelong Guns N' Roses fan, and I respect. I don't like Guns N' Roses, but I respect the craft and the history. Duff McKagan, we recorded the podcast. I rushed from the airport. Jason and I recorded it in separate rooms at his house on a Friday afternoon with Duff, and it didn't go well. But sometimes that's how you feel when it's over. You know what I mean, Jason? Like you're just like, oh, it didn't go that well, but whatever, it'll be fine. And then I got in the car to drive back to our house, and I got a call from his representative basically being like, Duff didn't like that, and I offered for us not to post it because I was like, well, I didn't like it either. So like if we both don't like it, it's not going to be good. Who cares? Like everything doesn't need to see the light of day. I think that's totally okay. I think we just didn't. I think the vibes were just very different. That's all. I don't think it was like anything personal. Like I don't think he was like, fuck these guys. I just think it was like he didn't know what he was getting into. We might not have known what we were getting into, and it just didn't gel.
Well, there was also the element where he was on with the understanding that we were going to be talking about and plugging his book.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody told him that we don't really do that kind of thing. We'll talk about it a little bit, but
yeah,
I got one of the members of Guns N' Roses, the first album I bought with my own money when I was a kid, first CD I ever bought with my own money. Grew up listening to him, all these questions, 80s Hollywood, the whole thing, Know Me Fries sending me questions. It's a whole thing. And he was just not. He was like, "Oh, I thought we're here to talk about my book it was his album."
But it was
a solo album.
It was an album. It was a new solo album. But it's also, I feel like he claimed that we talked a lot about drugs, which we didn't. And I found that like odd because I think we made a point not to, because it's like, we get it. You've told those stories a million times. I don't like, we can read those. So I don't need to. But anyway, that's it. It's not that salacious, unfortunately. It's kind of what happens.
Duff, I still love you. We can have you back on if you want to, but I'm sorry. 40s Annex a day is just more interesting to me than your 17 solo record, my man.
The other thing is, when this happened, we were both kind of shook because that had never happened to us before, and and I talked to a few people, and they're like, "This happens all the time," and I was like, "Oh, well, that's good." It's literally never. It's happened to us with Duff McKagan and a New York magazine writer. So we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
We're doing pretty good.
I agree.
All right. Directed towards both of you, who are your Grail pod guests for each category? People who haven't been on the pod yet. Okay. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't like these kind of questions. I've said this before in interviews. It's just, I don't think of it that way. Like, that's just not how. I mean, of course there's people, but like I don't have like some running list in my notes app. I'm sure you don't either.
No, I think 2025 we ban this question and this kind of lazy. I mean, no offense, I understand it's a very common question. It's information that would be interesting to me if I wanted, somebody that I admired. I would like to hear that as well, but it's just one of those dumb, lazy questions, like who's the best musician of all time? You're like, I don't know, fucking Beatles. What? I don't fucking know. What do you? Why?
Of course, I want fucking Matt Damon and Mark Jacobs and John Galliano and Liam Gallagher. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, dude. There's obviously, but it's also
what's the best movie? Godfather 2. It's
a lot of people.
Casablanca.
A lot of people that we've. A lot of, like somebody like Johnny Marr, for example, who's like obviously big for both of us. Like that didn't really ever cross my mind until it was put in front of me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's the other thing. I think that like at this point we get a lot of inbound requests, and sometimes that's where the best things come from because it's a little surprising or a little strange. Yeah.
That being, I would say, I mean, and as I said earlier, don't pod with your heroes with Duff kind of vibe. The best episodes end up being the ones that you don't expect. And, if we were to sit down and do a podcast with Joe Budden or Kanye West or any of these crazy gets that you would think would be perfect, or Morrissey, whatever it is, there's a very strong chance that the vibe is not going to work and it's not going to be awesome.
There's a strong,
but then, Johnny Marr or, whatever, 5EO Foreign or, just these other people that just pop up one day and you're like, oh, that was amazing.
Yeah,
and those are the best ones.
Yeah, there's also a very good chance that a writer with a book out that you've never heard of is going to be better than somebody famous.
Yeah,
because just based solely on like experience and personality and all these kind of X factors. But moving on, how many books, magazines does Chris have? Which ones took the longest to track down? Or you think I have a running count? I don't fucking know. I don't. I just buy. I don't count. Alex gave me a very nice Christmas gift yesterday. That was I've always wanted to do this because years and years ago when Dennis Hopper died, I bought some of his books from his library online when they did like an auction.
From the Hopper estate.
And they had a stamp, like a library stamp in it from him. And I always wanted one for all my books. And you can buy this kind of like, it's like a little embossing tool. It's almost like what a notary would use, on like a contract or a legal paper.
Sure.
So it says Chris Black's library with a nice stack of books. So I'm planning to, I might hire someone to stamp them all. I feel like that's not a super good use of my time.
No, but I feel like you got to do it yourself in a ceremonial way.
That's true. I mean, I've like the most recent thing was there's a book called Diary by Corinne Day, who's kind of like one of the greats, like first pictures of Kate Moss, et cetera, et cetera. And I'd always kind of wanted it, and it's expensive, but like it's fine. It's like $300 or $400, and I remember I was at Arcana once and it had it in the case. I was like, I should buy that today, and then I didn't. Came back like a week later, it was gone. And I was like, fuck. Oh. And then I had an eBay alert set up, and I bought that. But I also something happened recently that was really interesting. There's a New York Times Magazine Nan Golden Jamie King editorial that's like famously beloved in all the fashion circles, and I found it on eBay like a decade ago for like $30, and I was so psyched to have it framed at my parents' house. Tim Coleman, who's also arguably a bigger collector and better collector than me, found one recently, which I didn't think existed. I was very impressed, but I have friends that go much further than me, and luckily they alert me to stuff, and Tim is one of those people.
Okay. I think your embossed stamp, it could be a fun exercise, spring cleaning style. You go through every one of your books.
Yeah.
The literal stamp of approval. Maybe there's some stuff in your archives that we can get rid of.
There's definitely stuff in the archives we can get rid of, but I mean
doesn't get the stamp.
It doesn't get the stamp.
And then you could pay your intern to go sell those online for you. That'll be the better use of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, next question.
We can skip this one if we want.
I mean, whatever, it's fine. I'll ask it. All I want for Christmas is to know what their wives really think about this podcast. Well, our wives aren't here, bitch. Shut up.
What do you think what do you fucking think? They think it's embarrassing, but we make money, so it's fine. What do you mean? That's it.
Well, I think that's not 1,000% true. I know Carolyn does listen to the podcast because she doesn't like podcasts at all, but she likes How Long Gone. So she listens to it because we're number one in her mind.
I mean, she doesn't really have much of a choice. I mean, I think Alex listens to it occasionally if it's a guest that she likes. But I mean,
yeah. Can
you imagine this is your life? You're married to a guy who has to like record his little podcast with his friend wherever you are in the world at all times. It's not as glamorous as it may seem, but they put up with it because they love us. And that's what really matters.
I agree. And it's not really that big of a deal. And,
it's
sometimes
not that big a deal.
I think that you can learn a lot about the person that you share a bed with every night by listening to their podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, exactly. And I'm yesterday when I showed Alex that Call Her Daddy bought her parents a house, I did receive a curious look about what's going on with us. But look, we'll get there. We have time. Yeah,
we need to get our bodies looking better.
We need to marry a scammer. All right, will we ever get a How Long Gone festival? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would love to do that. I think that's like, we've talked about it loosely. I think that's something that could probably happen in the next couple years. And I mean, hopefully you guys will buy tickets.
Yeah. What will it consist of? Music, culinary, poetry readings.
Yeah.
Tough Mudder competition. What exactly can our listeners expect?
We're gonna have Dean Kissick reading poetry while a Tough Mudder is happening. That's kind of the soundtrack for the Tough Mudder. We're gonna really combine our interests
raw
in a way
milk
that you are.
Wristband. Yeah. If you have the wristband, purple wristband, raw milk is free.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good. All right. What was the album that made you hear music differently? Oh wow. Okay, Nardwar.
This year or of all time?
I guess probably of all time, right?
I guess I got a couple. I mean, because that means it would have to happen at a more seminal time in one's life.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I would. Okay, you go first.
Probably The Queen is Dead by the Smiths.
Pause.
Because I just didn't know music could sound like that, kind of. Probably Disintegration by The Cure in the same kind of realm. And then I have to say probably Converge, bro.
Ooh, sick.
I have to say probably Petitioning the Empty Sky or When Forever Comes Crashing.
Yeah.
Like that was
I think that's where you and I share some similar sensibilities musically. In a vast landscape where there is hardly any crossover whatsoever. That is a hyper specific and niche thing that we both hold beloved. I would say I agree with that. Where you're like, oh, hardcore music can sound technical and spastic and out of control in a way that I happen to enjoy and identify with versus a Gigi Allen kind of way or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess something for me would, because of the electronic music world,
Yeah.
First time you hear Kid A, well, that was a big moment.
That's a really good, I mean, that's probably true for all of us to some extent. I think our age group, that was a very, very big, because it was also popular. You know what I mean? It wasn't like weird niche music. It was niche. It was weird.
It was the
but
number
it was
one album
big.
On the Billboard charts.
Yeah, exactly.
When it came
Exactly.
Exactly. I would say that, and then maybe like, Bjork. When you're like, oh, you could listen to fucking
no Mobb Deep or De La Soul or anything like that. Okay, well,
I would say Bjork, Homogenic.
Yeah, classic.
Or Post, maybe. I was like, damn, hell yeah.
I was like, damn.
Okay, how did you two become friends? We've already told that story a zillion times.
Is Chris open to giving Montreal another chance? Not particularly, but if I was invited there for a reason, I would happily go. I mean, I had some good times there over the years, and I have friends there I would like to tap in with. But you're asking me this question at the end of the month of December, which is probably the least opportune time to visit Montreal. So it's not top of the list right now.
Yeah, come find him in June.
Yeah, I mean the summer there is special, and I miss Larry's, my favorite restaurant there. I love Larry's.
Okay.
Top 3 in and out for I don't do that. I don't do in and out lists. I don't. Jason, if you want to do that, by all means, but it's just not for me.
Yeah, I guess in Christmas lights on the cars. No, I'm just kidding. I would say out, holidays, family, and in would be live television broadcasts and Timothy Chalamet.
Okay, not bad.
What's the story of CB and a dead deer from his high school days? There's a podcast episode about it. Yeah, go listen to it.
There's literally an episode of the first podcast I did with my friend James. It's called Public Announcement, and the first episode is about that. And we found the guy who did it. We interviewed him. It's a well produced piece of content that lives on the internet. If you want to go hear that story,
for sure. No better way to tell that story. Turning 30 next year, what is the best advice for entering this decade?
I mean, it's better than your 20s for sure. Aging rocks is the thing that people don't tell you, at least as a man. And I know it's different, but I feel and look better than I ever have. I feel like as I get older, and I think that happens to a lot of people.
Okay. So yeah, I would say best advice, start the peptides early.
Exactly.
Start the tea early.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I have any good advice. Yeah, I would say, be ready and be prepared to have a better decade than you did in your 20s. You
might get a little less. You might get a little less ass, but hopefully the 401k grows. You know what I mean?
I would say the best advice for turning your 30s. Figure out different new kinds of ass that you did not tangle with in your 20s. Expand and broaden your horizons.
Make sure your hymns is delivered on time. That's I would say that.
No, you don't need that in your 30s unless, you're some type of...
Preventative.
Is that how it works? I didn't know that.
Yeah. We've already gotten this one. All right. Death row last meal. For me, definitely an Elmere tofu burrito and chips and guacamole with green salsa.
Okay. And of course, a well-balanced omakase meal from any number of fine places in Los Angeles.
I want miso black cod from Nobu.
That's not a bad one, actually.
No, it's not. Favorite coffee spot in Los Angeles? I mean, there's probably 3 that I go to. Like, Maru tastes the best, but it's the worst people in the world, so I try not to go there. The Maru Beverly Hills espresso bar, though, is low-key turnt, and I like going over there. It's a very different element. If you want to look at the most insane people on earth, you go to Community Goods. The product there is also very good. And if you want good product, but a more regular people watching of out-of-work producers, Sightglass is the place for that, I would say.
Okay, and then my question is, Jason, least favorite food? I don't know if that means racially, culturally, or just one specific item.
Let's say like the way people are so adverse to cilantro. Let's think of it like that way.
I would say marshmallows.
Wow. Okay.
Or meringue.
Okay. That's good. I didn't know that about you, actually. I'm glad that these questions are helping us discover each other as well.
Yeah. Get that meringue marshmallow shit out of here. Stupid cotton candy.
That's cotton candy is disgusting. Can you please bring your wives on the show? No, that's stupid. Why would I, that's not what this is about. I don't understand that question.
Well, I understand it because people are fascinated by it, but I think it's interesting that us, compared to all the other podcasts who do the same exact thing, seem to get this question a lot, and people are really fascinated. And it's not that we are hiding our wives from the world anymore or any less than every other podcaster who's ever done a podcast. I've never heard Joe Rogan have his wife on the podcast, or I've never heard Mark Maron have any of his girlfriend. It's like, unless they're trying to sell something or whatever, but like no one has ever had their wife on it unless the wife was trying to be a famous person or the husband, any partner. I've heard it every once in a while. I remember like Adam Carolla, he would just like talk shit on his wife, how she's like a dumbass all the time. And then he like gave her like a wine company and she would come on and she tried to have her own podcast. Like, unless your partner is trying to become famous and ride the coattails of the pod.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry I said all that stuff about you. Here's your own podcast.
Yeah. When all the earrings have been purchased.
Yeah, there's no more love bracelets left to buy at the Cartier store.
I'll give you a bust down Spotify show.
Why is the Delta Sky Lounge so ass compared to Centurion Lounge? Well, that's just wrong. Centurion Lounges are absolutely terrible, and I've been in a few of them. I remember going in one in Amsterdam on a layover, and I had to sign in, And I walked out so fast that the guy like stopped me, and he was like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "There's nothing in here.
Where do I start?
There's no reason. There's no reason for me to go in here. I don't even know if there's Wi-Fi in this third world fucking lounge. Disgusting."
I would say the Centurion lounges have improved over the last year or two, and I think some of the food programs could arguably be more enchanting. I think like the one in LAX may have Nancy Silverton quote unquote curated food.
Okay.
Made by a school shooter in the back of a factory at 4 a.m. So it doesn't have the same sort of rustic magic as Nancy, but yeah, otherwise I would say that it is not better. And this is clearly a person who doesn't have great Delta status and wants to talk a little mess. That's fine. Any update on the How Long Gone NFT buyer?
This is great. I love this question.
Up, is this the show's biggest regret?
Yes, it is the show's biggest regret, and but I also think it's really funny. And
also, why couldn't we have sold it for Bitcoin instead of Ethereum? Bitcoin is like over 100K, and that ETH is what chilling at 3,000. I don't know.
I mean, the whole thing is funny. Like, who cares? Like, of course, I don't actually regret it. Like, I think it's stupid and funny. I don't think there's any like. It was also. That was the time, like it was like a funny thing to do at that time, and also I still think what we did for the NFT is fucking funny.
Yeah, I mean the world was crazed with NFT stuff, a lot of bullshit floating around, and we were like, what if our NFT was you could be a guest on our show? I thought it was kind of a unique, interesting idea, and there were enough people out there who, purchased Ethereum for half of a penny 10 years ago, and then suddenly it's very easy for them to, whatever ended up being $8,000 or something to be a guest on the show.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really spoken to him.
He's around. He's around. I love that guy.
He's in the mentions. But yeah, he ended up being a great guest.
Yeah, he's
good
cool.
Energy, and I think that was like an episode that a lot of people were pleasantly pleased with. They're like, oh, NFT guy was actually,
we could have gotten
he was like plugging himself and his shit, but in a way that
I liked it.
It wasn't like, it wasn't annoying.
I liked it. Favorite book.
That being said, he won't come back on the pod, but I will still talk to him.
Well, he might if he directs the right kind of movie, we could talk.
Give me one Bitcoin and you can come on.
Favorite books. I mean, this is like I guess this year I really liked a book called Splinters by Leslie Jameson. Was really good. I loved All Fours by Miranda July. I loved In Tongues by Thomas Grattan. I loved I Want You More by Swan Huntley. I tried to read as much as I could this year. It's really tough. Okay. It's really tough.
And I don't know. I didn't read any.
Well, it's also like
Shards, maybe. I don't even.
What
know.
am I supposed to say? The Catcher in the Rye? Like, what do you want me to say? Ham on rye? Like, I just don't like. I don't know what the answer is. I mean, of course, I love Bright Lights, Big City. Of course, you know what I mean. It's like I could talk about that forever, but I think it's more.
My favorite book this year, Honor Levy. My first book. Next question.
That's. We need 45 minutes to unpack that.
Number 2. Okay, what is CB's max deadlift? And thank you for not asking me that same question.
I actually don't. Dude. I don't know. I mean, maybe like 275.
Good.
I think. Is that crazy? I don't really know. Hunter just puts the plates on and I lift him up. I don't really care about that.
Great answer. Yeah, I have no idea. So 275 on each side, right?
Yeah.
You're not talking about total. No, I'm just
yeah, no, that's great.
What are your thoughts on the current reality TV landscape?
What is that? I mean, there's no thoughts on it. It just keeps getting better and better because people keep getting worse and worse. It's a very simple. I mean, I think that it's the most popular genre of television because the element of surprise like still exists, and it really does feel like you're watching real people. The more twisted they are.
Yeah, I guess the downside of it is it's a way for people to become famous with good and evil powers behind it. Like you can villain your way to the top by destroying lives and hurting people and reach fame and success and kind of sneak your way into the C-list, which we love a good scammer as long as the it's pure of heart and intention, and you're ripping off corporations and not hurting other people.
Never forget that your hero Theo Vaughn started on Road Rules on MTV. You know, you can get to the top.
Matt Rife started out on MTV's Wilding Out, but I guess to what we were saying before about one of my predictions for being in 2025, live television, I guess, sort of is reality television now in some ways. I think it'll continue to grow, one, because it's the cheapest to produce and the most sure bet, for better and for worse. But I think that just having that feeling of like there's not a safety net here 100%, more content like that will continue to rise, I think.
Yeah,
I think we've had like a deficit of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's cheap too. You're right. That's like a huge part of it.
And hopefully How Long Gone will be doing more live stuff. Not just like live shows, but like, you know,
but like
live to tape. We'll
live
do it live
with cameras. How would you define coolness in 2025? If you're asking that question, then you don't know the answer. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I don't think about coolness. Like that's not something I don't know. That's a very interesting and difficult question.
I guess in 2025, cool inherently is timeless. So the same answer would apply for 2025 or 1985.
Yeah. Levi's in a leather jacket, you know, just looking like James Dean, man. That's always cool.
I would say it's the same as everything. You have confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't care what other people think about you.
Yeah, that's the answer to that for the last 100 years.
People can smell out authenticity, and people can tell when it's fake, and that's
true.
You can't teach it, you can't learn it, you can't duplicate it, and that's why it's a special, amazing currency.
You definitely can't learn it on a podcast. Looking back, final question. Looking back, is Dime Square the most overrated, overhyped neighborhood in existence? No. Clearly, you're not old enough to remember when Venice, the worst place in the world in Los Angeles, was called the coolest neighborhood in the world by every publication on earth. That is much worse than Dime Square. Also, Dime Square is there's good stuff there. You know what I mean? Like, I have reasons to go there. It's not like it's. I feel like Venice is a place I could never go again for the rest of my life. That's just an example.
Me too.
But like, I could never go there. I could never go there again. And at one point, you had to go to eat at Gelina. You had to go do stuff there, and that is just not the case anymore.
Highland Park by the Sea.
If you like Scar's Pizza, if you wear Jordans and you're white, you line up for Scar's Pizza. If you want coffee at Colbo, there's like stuff down there. Desert Vintage.
There's still some good dick over in Dime Square, is what you're saying.
There's good dick in Dime Square, yeah. But I mean, I do think, of course, it was overhyped. But I think there was a lot of stuff that happened during the COVID that we will look back on and be like, well, this was crazy. Like, there was so much wild behavior going on in so many ways that we've kind of I believe we just brushed under the rug for good reason, because it's like we want to forget that entire time period because it was awful.
And I blame Eric Adams for that. Poor leadership.
Oh, I blame Eric Adams too. But I mean, Dime Square is thriving. You go over to Dime Square on a Friday night and it feels like you're in the Marais, you know, in Paris.
Oui.
Feels the same. You're just sitting outside, you're drinking champagne, you're looking at people in big pants. It's great. All right, well, look, thank you to all the listeners for a wonderful year of How Long Gone. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you for the questions. This was actually really fun. I'm glad we did this.
Oh, good. Yeah, I guess we could make it a holiday tradition. And thank you to everyone for listening to our Christmas episode with Mel Ottenberg. Go back and listen to that if you haven't. It's a winner. And I guess that's about it. Everyone have a great 2024. I think we have one more episode. We have an old friend.
Yeah, we're doing a New Year's Day with an old favorite. I think she's going to be in the Three Timers Club, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I think you're right.
And she deserves it.
Fans of the show can already guess who.
Friends of the show can already guess who.
A palate cleanser.
Yeah. Check your wrist. How Long Gone? HowLongGone.com is the website. Jason, Merry Christmas. I'll see you in LA. And thank you all for listening. We really appreciate it.